goal of a third shot drop is to try to get it low and in front of your opponent. Ideally, this would bounce in the kitchen itself and be an unattackable shot. The reason why the third shot drop is so great is because it's a slower shot that allows you to move forward into the court while they can't put any type of pressure on it if you've hit a successful one. Instead, I want to give myself about 2 or 3 feet of margin and plenty of time for that ball to dive down. Another thing that I like to think about with the drop is the apex or the highest point of the ball itself. I don't want that to be perfectly over the net. Instead, I want to be somewhere in the middle of my kitchen by the time that it's diving down. It's really important that I have a nice open stance before the ball's coming to me because I don't know which side I'm going to be hitting on, okay? As soon as I can tell whether I'm going to be hitting a forehand or a backhand, I want to close off to that side and get my opposite foot forward, and this gives me plenty of space for the follow through itself, okay? Let's pretend I'm hitting on the forehand side. I'm going to get that left leg forward. I'm in a little bit of a closed stance. Now I have plenty of room to get my follow through and my motion. I want to be about a foot away from my body and 2 feet away from my chest, right in this spot. You'll notice my paddle head is nice and low so that I can get underneath the ball before I make contact. This is a very low to high motion, okay? Instead of like on the serve where I'm going 1, 2, 3 balls through on my follow through, I'm going to come through that first point of contact and then I'm gonna go into my follow through. More times than not, I wanna go a little bit more towards the middle, maybe a slightly cross court. This gives me more space to hit into, more time for the ball to come down itself. Here, I'm not trying to get the ball to bounce into the kitchen per se, like I was with the drop. Instead, I'm being a little bit more aggressive, trying to get pace on this ball and attack my opponent. The main thing here with the drive is that I'm trying to keep this ball low so that it's difficult for my opponent to handle. Notice on the drive, I'm really focusing on making sure my momentum is going forward just where I want the ball to go. Just like the third shot drop, I'm really focusing on making sure that I get kind of closed off to the ball with my opposite leg stepping forward. My contact point is going to be very similar, about a foot away from my body, 2 feet away from my chest, and I still am trying to catch it out in front. Instead of trying to go through just the one ball on the drop, I'm back to where I was on the serve or the return, where I'm focusing on a longer, flatter follow through. I'm thinking about hitting 1, 2, 3 balls all the way in front of me, reaching out after contact before I get that nice low to high follow through at the end. The question I often get asked on the drive is, where should I be aiming, okay? First, I would want to be paying attention to, are one of my opponents maybe moving up after the return still? Are they still somewhere in the transition zone? This would be a great target for me to aim at them as they're not all the way up onto the kitchen and they're not balanced for a counterattack. The next thing I would want to be focused on when picking where to drive is, are there any weak spots on the court? Do I have an opponent that's maybe a lot weaker than the other? Maybe they're both pretty solid, but I noticed that player one has a really weak backhand counter. These are all things that I'm looking for, and if I spot something like this, I'm going to attack that weakness with my drive. One of the most important things is the ability to recognize when you should hit a third shot drive versus a third shot drop. The deeper the ball is, oftentimes it's more difficult to hit a successful third shot drop. I think the biggest third shot error that I see as a coach is players coming in, wanting to hit too hard and making way too many mistakes on the third shot drive. Remember, you're not going to win the point outright every single time. Instead, we want to always think about making the ball to get to the next one.